citations and references and sources to the facts that you will deliver before the members. Then the second element is about the delivery and persuasion, confidence, voice modulation, the contact, that is the eye contact, the gestures that we are going to use to put the point home. Then rebuttal or counter arguments. Are we in position to refute the opponent's key views and arguments? Can we identify flaws within what the opponents are actually raising, or the inconsistencies? So that will carry 20 marks. Then the relevance to the motion. Can we stay in line of the motion and the topic without moving away, without meandering? Then the final element is time management. Are we in position to use our time, the allocated time, like the MC shall inform you? And can we balance our arguments without actually rushing or underdeveloping any key points just because of time? So that is how the assessment is going to be, and at this particular point we say that we wish you the best. Thank you, and assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much, Mr. Luwemba Musa. Our dear listeners, the participants that we are having in the building from University Link, being the affirmers, include Maji Ibrahim, a senior 5 student, Nacharanda Azena, a senior 4 student, Musimame Andrew, a senior 4 student. And from the negator's side, that is Resilient High School, we have Mabuku Emma, a senior 4 student, Tisache Desire, a senior 4 student, and Namasoko Robert, a senior 4 student. Our dear listeners, I would like to also introduce the judges, and this include Mr. Luwemba Musa, who is the lecturer first of Faculty of Social Science, the head of Department Political Science, the research coordinator, Faculty of Social Science, and also a coordinator of seminar series. And in a few months, he will be completing his PhD, inshallah. The second judge on my right is Mr. Swamad Mwanja, who is in charge of international and refugee students, Islamic University in Uganda. And finally, Madam Asina Halima, in fact, Honorable. She is an upcoming, she's in fact aspiring. She is a journalist and a coordinator for the Eastern Youth. She is a speaker for the National Youth Parliament. She advocates for the PWDs, Women and Children Working with AIRD. She is also aspiring for Woman MP Mbale City, and she is also a business lady. Our dear listeners, to the participants, the time that is given to us is 8 minutes. So within the 8 minutes, you must have exhausted each and everything, both for the negators and the affirmers. And in this debate, or for today's debate in this session, we shall not be having cross-examination, but point of information. Without wasting time, I would like to call upon our very first participant from University Link, none other than Matiti Ibrahim, a senior 5 student. You are welcome.
Thank you. The panel of judges, team negative and team positive, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Matt Ibrahim from the proposition side, here to affirm today's motion stating mandatory digital classes in Uganda schools are essential for future economic participation. The other two members on the proposition are Nakranda Azena and Musimambe Andrew. As the first speaker, I will define the motion, present our first two cases. That is to say, bridges the rural-urban divide, digital literacy is a new base skill. Our second speaker will continue by defending our position and introducing our third and fourth points. Our third speaker will then close by analyzing the key issues, disseminating the opposition, and showing why we must affirm this motion. Kofi Annan once said, in the 21st century, literacy must be digital. Our dear judges, this is the heart of this debate. Allow me to break down some of the key terms in today's motion. Mandatory means compulsory or required by law or policy. E.g., science subjects are compulsory in all secondary schools of Uganda. The next is digital classes. These are structured lessons focused on digital literacy, including computer skills, internet use, and cyber security, among others. Uganda School. These are primary, secondary, and tertiary education institutions under the Ministry of Education in Uganda. Essential means extremely important or absolutely necessary. Future economic participation is the ability of individuals to contribute and benefit from the economy through entrepreneurship, jobs, and others in this digital world. Allow me to give a brief background about digital classes in Uganda. In the early 2000s, computer education was introduced slowly, mostly in urban and private schools. The focus was on basic skills, not full digital classes. In 2010, the Ministry of Education began pushing ICT as a compulsory subject in secondary schools. In 2011-2015, projects like SchoolNet Uganda and Uganda Connect helped to equip schools and provide digital content. In 2016, the national ICT policy was emphasized at integrating technology into education at all levels. In 2020, after the COVID-19 struck the country, all schools went into lockdown, and here, digital classes became essential. The Ministry of Education launched home-based lessons through TV and radios and digital platforms like Moodle and school WhatsApp groups. In 2021, the National Curriculum Development Center (NCDC) provided digital resources online for schools, but the uptake was still low in rural areas due to lack of electricity, internet, and devices. Our perimeter. The debate focuses on Uganda public and private schools in primary and secondary. Our census score. Many Ugandan schools lack digital education. Students graduate digitally illiterate, limiting their chances in the modern job market. Our action plan to introduce digital literacy as a compulsory subject in all primary and secondary schools. Our methodology, curriculum to include ICT skills, typing, coding, internet use, digital safety, among others. Ministry of Education to train teachers, set curriculum, and track the progress. Our target group is the students in upper primary and secondary levels. Our funders, the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Education, international donors and NGOs, e.g. UNICEF, World Bank, and UNESCO. Private technology companies, e.g. MTN, Airtel, Microsoft, Google, among others. These are the points from the affirmative. Bridges the rural-urban divide. Digital literacy is a new basic skill. Prepares youth for entrepreneurship and innovation. Creates efficiency and innovation in other sectors. Our dear judges, allow me to explain some of the points from the affirmative. Bridges the rural-urban divide. Currently, urban schools in areas of Kampala, Mbale, Mbarara, among others, have a better access to digital education, that's to say computers, electricity, and internet. Rural schools in areas of Karamoja, Bukwo, Noya often lack ICT facilities or they are inadequate. So, if the government makes digital classes compulsory, then that means it's going to be its task to make sure to provide all the digital lessons or equipment to all schools, both in urban areas and rural areas. That's going to increase on the standardization of digital literacy, so that a child in Karamoja, in the deep villages of Karamoja, and the person who is in Balia or Kampala can compete, can be at the same pace to compete for the jobs in the job market of tomorrow's Uganda. Our next point is digital literacy is a new basic skill. In the 21st century, knowing how to read and write is no longer enough. We must also know how to type, search, communicate, and operate online. Almost every job today in Uganda involves digital stuff. E.g. banking, security, farming use digital tools like mobile apps, websites, or payment systems. Even applying for a job now requires online application. Doing interviews such as aptitude tests require apps, emails, and typing CVs. For example, students who learn how to use Microsoft Word, Google Search, and Excel in schools are more competent ready to participate and even work in companies as basic data entries. Those who do not will struggle to apply for universities or even to register for NSSF, as Uganda digitalizes more of its services. As I conclude, like reading and counting, I think digital education is necessary. It must be taught to all, early and mandatory. I rest my case.
Thank you so much. Honorable. Thank you so much, Honorable Mati Ibrahim from University Link High School, Senior 5. And I think I should go on the next, to the other side of the negators. From Resilient High School. None other than Mawaku Emma. You're welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the opportunity granted, the high table, the two competing sides, and the Augusta House at large. Good morning. We are here as Team Negator on the following on the motion that has been stated that mandatory digital literacy in Ugandan school is essential for economic participation. But for us as Team Negator, we say no. It is going to affect the economy of the country. Allow me define the motion. Mandatory means something compulsory. Digital, electronic technology, literacy, having knowledge about something. Essential, something which is extremely important. Economic participation, this refers to the activities which involve investing money in to get to or to earn a living. So, as Team Negator, allow me add out our case. According to digitalteacher.co.ug states that the effect of digital literacy in the economic sector of Uganda are as follows: unemployment, high costs, workplace destruction, technological dependence, work-life balance, poverty in communities, shortage of trained teachers, poor maintenance of the digital equipment, insufficient funds, shortage of food, school dropout. Allow me explain one of our cases. School dropout. When they make this digital literacy in Ugandan schools to be compulsory, it is highly going to affect these students from the rural areas. For example, now, the schools are going to raise school fees. And when they raise school fees, it is going to affect that student, whereby their parents, they lack money. So it is going to affect them by sending them back home due to the increase in what? In fees. So, the honorable members from affirmative, I would like to tell you that you need to join us. We need to fight this because it is going to affect those students in the what? In the community who lack money. Shortage of food. For example, now, digital literacy is going to depend on ICT. Only ICT. So as we are depending on ICT, it is going to affect agriculture sector. As agriculture is affected, remember now, the highest rate, like for example now, the highest rate, for now, the nation is depending on agriculture. It is exporting its goods outside, which is commonly, it is coffee. Now our nation, Uganda, it is depending on the export of coffee into the outside country. So when we depend on this, when we say that digital literacy should be compulsory in the nation, it is going to affect agriculture sector of the nation. And hence food production. Food production is going to be too low.
Point of
it is going to be too low. As they are depending on ICT, it is going to affect those farmers who lack money. So now they are going to focus only on ICT. So there they are going to affect those farmers from rural areas, for example, those ones in mountainous areas, who lack knowledge to access this digital. So I'm telling you, fellow, you affirmatives, to just cross this way, because we are going to affect the food supply of the country.
Point of information, the speaker.
You are not allowed. It is going to affect insufficient funds. Now people are going to start looking for money. For example, just buying a computer, it costs high, it is on a high cost. Look at those students in the village. Will they manage to buy these computers when they make this computer subject to be compulsory in the nation? So they are going to affect us a lot as we students who lack money. Voila.
Mr. Speaker, you think, like you say that making digital classes compulsory will affect those students in rural areas, but you believe that if we make the government invest, they will have more access to the ICT gadgets, electricity, and internet.
Honorable member, what you believe, I don't believe. And by believing it is not yours. So for now here, defending those people, I am here standing in the shoes of that person who does not manage to access digital literacy. So, with those few remarks, allow me to rest my place.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mabuku Emma from Resilient, the negator. I would like to straight away go on our second affirmer. You are welcome.
The panel of judges, the two antagonistic bodies, the audience at large, good morning. My name is Nakaranda Azena, here to propose the motion that is clearly stating that mandatory digital literacy in Ugandan schools are essential for future economic participation. Mr. Bitange Ndemo, a Kenyan ICT expert, once said, if we don't give our children digital literacy now, we are preparing them for a world that no longer exists. I will start by reinforcing the definitions. Mandatory means obligatory or required by the law or policy. Digital classes refer to structured ICT lessons, for example, computer basics, internet use, or safety. Our parameters were Ugandan secondary schools, and the implementation will begin in phases, that is to say, upper primary. Our first speaker emphasized that mandatory digital classes bridges the rural-urban divide. Currently, modern schools in Uganda, for example those in Kampala, Wakiso, Mbarara, have better access to electricity, computer gadgets, and internet. Rural schools like those in Karamoja, Buko, or Nuya often lack ICT facilities or they are inadequate. We as the team affirmatives believe that if these mandatory classes are made a must in Uganda, it will call upon the responsibility of the government and other stakeholders to invest equally in those schools in rural areas and urban areas. He went ahead and stated that computer literacy is new basic literacy. Today, in the 21st century, knowing how to read and write is no longer enough. I'll take you later. It's no longer enough. You must know how to type, search, communicate, and operate online. I'll take you later. I'll go ahead and present the two more new arguments from the affirmative side. The first one is prepare as youths for entrepreneurship and innovation. Uganda is one of the most youngest countries in the world with 75% of its population under 30. High youth employment means many must become job creators and not job seekers. Through digital skills, students can learn how to build websites, operate social media pages, do graphic designs or even code. Allow.
Thank you, Honorable, from the affirming side. You have said, are you aware that if this ICT digital whatever is made compulsory in Ugandan schools, are you aware that the students are going to, the people, all the generation we are on, we are going to become job seekers, not job creators?
No. If one has ICT literacy, remember these people have different skills. You can create your own website online. Maybe you are a farmer. You can create your own app. You run your own app, advertising your business, agricultural products. Will that make us fail to get employment? Secondly, I was still explaining, prepare as youths for entrepreneurship and innovation. Uganda, not allowed. Uganda is one of the youngest countries in the world with 75% of its population under 30. High youth employment means many must become job creators and not job seekers. Through digital classes, students can learn how to build websites, not allowed, build websites, do graphic design, run social media pages, or even code. With the digital platforms like Jumia, WhatsApp Business, or even Vente, they can create online shops or do digital services. Not allowed. As I was still continuing, for example, a student in Mali who learns the digital marketing can open up a business shop online or on Facebook selling honey or coffee across Uganda. Others can learn how to use mobile money apps, e-commerce tools, launching fintech. Hello?
Thank you, Honorable. I am aware that if I want to trade my business, I cannot use ICT because we have markets out there. Me as an agriculturalist, I can take my goods to the market and of course definitely they'll have to buy them without ICT. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Introducing ICT does not mean we are going to abolish other ways of carrying out businesses. We are just going to advance them, digitalize them, make them more efficient.
You are.
Not allowed. Another point is, leads to efficiency in other sectors. Take for instance, those students who learn digital technology do not only help the technology sector, but also transform how we do agri, security, border, and so on. For example, agriculture farmers can use an app called Easy Agri to learn about the weather forecasts, do like purchase fertilizers, not allowed, purchase fertilizers, or even know about the different crop species to use. As I conclude,
You are.
hello?
Thank you, Honorable. I should say that using digital, farmers will use computers or digital literacy to make an app of something. Do you think that we all afford those things that you're saying?
Thank you. As we all know, there is no gain without investment. Will you gain without investing? You're telling me those who lack money, there is nothing like gaining without investment. Okay? And using these digital gadgets, it does not mean, and it will even create, it will ease work. Honorable, how would you feel if you're an agriculture farmer? You do your agriculture at home, get your harvest, and sit at home, post your products online, you're getting money, like without moving long distances or something. Not allowed. As I conclude, with digital skills, in the world where digital skills are necessary, digital skills must be taught to all, and not just those in Kampala or other private schools. We don't need to delay. We need to equip, include, and prepare. We strongly affirm this motion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Nanchiranga Azena, a senior first student from University. I would like to call our second debater, who is none other than Chisache Desire from Resilient. You are welcome.
Thank you, MC. Protocol observed. I recognize the table of jury, the two antagonistic bodies, and the August House at large. I hope it's a good morning. I'm negating the motion that says mandatory digital literacy in Ugandan schools is essential for economic participation. I would like to explain the motion. Mandatory means something that is required or compulsory. Digital means electronic technology. Before I go any further, allow me to utter out some views. I'm going to defend our case and also present the two arguments. As earlier stated, our perimeter is Ugandan schools. And here, the second affirmer said that schools in Masaka, schools that are in rural villages, are in need of ICT, which is wrongly defined. That means if they are not able to get ICT tools or ICT gadgets, that means they are in poor conditions. It means instead of making ICT compulsory, they should rather add money and construct buildings for those schools so as to stand. And that, not granted. Another thing she said, job creators, not granted. Another thing she said, job creators, us becoming job creators, not job seekers. Let me assure you, Honorable, this point was very, very wrong, 100% wrong. If we want to become job creators, then we should leave ICT aside and then focus on our agriculture, since agriculture is the backbone of Uganda. Am I right? Granted.
Thank you, Madam Negator. In your statement, you try to say without ICT, as you say, agriculture is the backbone of Uganda, right? We believe that. But do you believe that in case this digital technology is put in place, people can do online delivery and they can sell their goods online? For instance, Jumia and Gigi. Do you believe people post their work, those items, crops, and they are able to get market online? So if you think that they should start this digital classes in Uganda.
Honorable, thank you, I've had. I can continue from there. Honorable, I would like to tell that your belief is not my belief. If I believe that agriculture is the backbone of Uganda, that means I made my point. As earlier stated, the second affirmer said we should become job creators, not job seekers. Here I disagree. ICT, not granted. ICT is not ours. And we all know that. We all depend on agriculture. Uganda is for agriculturists. Not granted. According to the digital teachers .co.ug, the negative effects of this mandatory digital literacy in secondary schools will lead to unemployment. First and foremost, it's not that all teachers in our schools teach ICT. And second of that, if this digital literacy is made compulsory, there is no way I also. First of all, I don't offer ICT. and I see no need of ICT. As me, Uganda, granted.
Thank you, Honorable. You say that not all teachers teach ICT. That's why we're advocating that if it is made compulsory, it will be the responsibility of the government to provide the curriculum to be set so that ICT can be taught in all rural and urban centers.
Thank you, Honorable. But what you should know is, if the government decides, there is also opposition from people. If people say that the government will not do it, thank you. I was explaining the issue of unemployment. Here, teachers will definitely lose their jobs. They will be considering more teachers that are teaching ICT than these ones. First of all, it will cause people will have pride. A teacher will talk to a fellow teacher and say, since I'm teaching ICT, why would I talk to this one who is teaching agriculture? Yeah. Granted.
Thank you, Honorable. I would like to inform you that technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformative.
Thank you, Honorable. But what should know is agriculture is better than ICT. Another point is cyber crimes. When this mandatory digital literacy is put into action, not granted, if it's put into action, we all know what pornography means. Instead of students searching work, they will definitely search the other negative part of it. Whereby it will definitely lead some of them dropping out of school. Because you can't tell me that when you watch search pornographic, not granted. When you watch, not granted. When you watch search pornographic movies or videos, how will you concentrate in class? Every time the child is teaching will be, I have to go back and watch, not granted. I have to go back and watch the other movie that I stopped on the way or I ended on the way. Therefore, we should all focus on agriculture and leave ICT since it is not ours. My another point is it will not granted. It will cause poverty in communities. What do I mean by this? First and foremost, if everyone is depending on the digital literacy, how will they get jobs? First of all, if you come to my office, you need a job, I'll ask you, did you offer ICT or the document that show that you did ICT? Definitely you will lose the job. Go back home, you sit. Instead of all that not granted, we better focus on agriculture and a living. Since technology does not do us any good, without a phone, without those laptops, without anything whatsoever that concerns digital literacy, we can live a standard life. Granted.
Madam Speaker, you are saying of agriculture being the backbone of Uganda. But as you know, digital classes or ICT is not a Western culture, but a global necessity. We can divert our economy, not only basing on agriculture.
Thank you, Honorable. But what you should know is, your want is not my want. As a negator, I say that we should all focus on agriculture since it's the best of all. There is no way you can eat ICT. Can you eat ICT? Can they really? There is no way you can feed on ICT. But if you carry out agriculture and depend on agriculture, you will get goods, sell your tomatoes, and a living. There is no way. First of all, there are not people in this Uganda of ours that can even make computers or microphones or phones. There are no industries in Uganda that make such. There are no industries in Uganda that make such. They are not there. Instead, not granted. Instead, we should focus on agriculture because I can see PCU in Uganda here, it's for coffee. Am I right? It's for coffee. Granted.
Madam Speaker, you spoke of children watching pornography when they are digitally illiterate. But I want to tell you that if we make this mandatory, there will be structures, terms and conditions. If these all children are taught how to handle ICT, there will be no child who will go in for pornography. They will all focus on what to be there, and that is education. Thank you.
Honorable, thank you. I don't think if you put the law governing the digital literacy, if you're obedient, the other guys won't be obedient. Thank you. As I conclude, I say that mandatory digital literacy in Uganda is not essential for economic participation. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was Honorable Such a Desire from Resilient High School, Alligator. We shall have our third affirmer from University Link, who is Musimamo. Welcome.
Honorable judges, the timekeeper, team negators, and team affirmatives, and the audience, good morning. Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, once said, Africa's story has been written by others, so we need to write our own story. And digital technology is the pen. My name is Msami Andrew. I'm the third speaker from the affirmative side, here to summarize this debate and to expose the weakness of the opposition and prove why this motion must stand. Let's begin by asking, what is this debate really about? It was about whether or not Ugandan children should be prepared to survive and succeed in this rapidly digitalizing world. Let's now examine the major points of clash. Practically, can the country implement this? The opposition argued that Uganda lacks infrastructure, but we showed that solutions like solar power, mobile ICT labs, and offline servers like Raquel are already working in pilot schools. Waiting makes the problem worse. Acting now builds the future. Immorality and laziness. The former speaker claimed that digital literacy will lead to laziness and immoral behavior. But we believe that laziness is as a result of indiscipline and not digital learning. But we asked what is more important in this, teaching the children how to be safe online or letting them figure it out by themselves. Our curriculum includes ethics, not granted. Our curriculum includes ethics, safety, and the procedures on how to manage the ICT. We don't fear technology, but we train students to use it. The opposition also claimed that there is no relevancy to economic participation. They claim that most Ugandans don't need technological jobs, but are we aware that this current 21st century, technological jobs are non-technological jobs like trading, agriculture, and others? We use digital tools like mobile money, apps, social media, and the global positioning system, that's the GPS. Digital literacy is no longer optional, but it's a survival skill. Not granted. Equality. Not granted. They also spoke about that this digital education will widen the gap. But as we, the affirmers, we claim that granted.
Through an explanation, is ICT a want or a need? Thank you.
Depending on me, ICT, on my own understanding, ICT is a need. Because in this digitalizing country, in this digitalizing world, what you're using right now to speak is based on the digital literacy, am I right? And whatever we're using currently here is depending on digital literacy. What I would like to add on that, only by making it mandatory can we demand equal investment in rural schools. If these optional digital programs are left behind, it means to leave these rural kids hanging, and it will leave them behind. Like they will not be aware of the advancement in the world is day-to-day conspiracy, or the worldly moving on. So are we aware that government suggested that in Uganda all science subjects are made compulsory, and it was able to implement it in all schools? I'm so sure that even if how a school is rural in this country, we can be able to find apparatuses in their what? In their school science labs. And so, if the country makes this digital literacy mandatory, the country and all the stakeholders will be able and will have that thinking, and they will have to implement and purchase the ICT tools all over schools in the country. Denied. The opposition also claimed that we should prioritize basic education, and we say digital literacy is a new basic education, and it's a new basic literacy. We are so sure that in this 21st century, reading and writing is no longer enough. You have to be having that ability to type, search, and communicate online. Through this, we are not replacing basic education. Denied. We are updating it for the 21st century. Granted.
I'd like to inquire from you, how will you facilitate for these people, like for example these students who lacks hands?
Your question is not relating to what we are talking about right now. You're bringing in something different from this. I also claim that digital literacy is not the only path to economic success. Not really, but we proved that it's another path to economic success. But we proved it's another way, in a way that in all ways that have been mentioned, we shall not be able to eliminate them, but we shall try to make it updated through apps. Like most of the apps going on around right now, because we have most apps on like Samsung Clouds, we have apps that generate the body temperature of a person. This is all about health. As you personally, you'll be able to understand how is your body functioning, how is your body temperature, and be able to analyze your blood pressure. Denied. Denied. Through apps, doing business and easy transportation will be ease and health among other things. Granted.
I would like to inform you that for us at our home, we don't use this digital you are saying that which measure temperature. For me at our home, my mother comes and touches on my body, feels the temperature, and knows that I am sick. Thank you.
But are you aware that long time ago, this method used to lead to a loss of lives? Many people lost their lives because you can't come and measure my temperature. That's me, tell me I'm fine. Not really. Denied. You might tell me that maybe my temperature is high because of sickness, but not really. We are aware that this country, we are experiencing a lot of weather changes. What if what's making my temperature high is sunshine? So you're telling me that you're touching me, my temperature is high, you're telling me I'm sick? Not really. Denied. And the question is, why do we debate? As we proved realistic solutions, not peers, and we are willing to take risks, as it happens in all fields of life. We defended the right of every child, but not just the privileged. Granted.
Your time is up. Thank you so much, Honorable Simone Andrew from the affirmative side, the university high school. I would like to go to our last participator from the negative side, who is Namasoko Robert.
Thank you, Honorable. My name is Namasoko Robert, team opposition.
today's motion is clearly stated that mandatory digital literacy in Ugandan schools is essential for economic participation. One of the government leaders came here and started speaking about. After the second speaker said that if you use digital literacy, you can do a business. You cannot do a business if you don't use literacy. If you don't use digital literacy, people out there, they are moving very well. Someone outside there is carrying things from agriculture, moving on that way. So should we need these computers to go and advertise our business? We cannot need that one because we are moving on that way, selling our own units without any disturbance. I would start by 2019. COVID-19 came. Actually, everyone knows that. COVID-19 came. We went all home. We came back after COVID-19. The government said that this is a new curriculum. Yes, we allow it. We allow the government to say that this is a new curriculum. Said that schools should what? All students should come with phones to school. But I was surprised. After a few months, the president said, after the Minister of Education denied phones at school. I don't know why. Why did they deny phones at school? Because it was bringing immorality at school. Teacher is teaching, you are using a phone. What is that? Not granted. Another thing that I want to just add on what our speaker said. Unemployment, this is true because you cannot, first of all, according to the Constitution of Uganda, we all have the rights of choice. And who is even the government? We are the government. We are the one who put them there. We are the people. We are, the power of people. We are the one who want them to be there. So if you don't want them, you cannot force me to do something I don't want. Not granted. Unemployment. I was saying, unemployment. If you bring now ICT to be compulsory, our school teachers like for culture teachers, officially they will like what to do because you are brought now culture, you are brought to digital literacy to all students. First of all, you'll be killing my dream. I want to be a farmer. You are telling me to learn ICT. Not granted. I'm trying to focus on agriculture. You are trying to bring some digital thing. I don't want them. I would like to ask a question. What is the total percentage of what percentage is Uganda technology now? I will reply and answer later. But members, if you come here, like high costs now, as my member stated, that high costs, we believe that, I believe that in Uganda there are those who can afford things. But me, I don't afford. You are forcing me to do something that I don't want. I don't have money. Can you force me to go and sit to get a computer? No. Please give me peace. So that I can do something that I want. Freely, without saying that compulsory. First of all, I'm in primary school in Buka district. We don't pay school fees. You know why? We don't pay school fees because we can't manage ourselves. Students there, they don't have, not granted. Students there, they study freely because people there are originally poor. Now if you add on another problem, digital literacy compulsory, you'll be killing them. Because the government, the president of Uganda, His Excellency President of Uganda, Museveni, he said that all government schools should be free. You know why what they're doing now? They're even adding more money. Government schools like that are paying school fees and they increase every time. But I like our Honorable Museveni say that no one should not granted. As I was saying, even this digital literacy can cause poverty to the students. Now me, I'm school, you are making compulsory. If you bring for me now a computer, why will I start? You want to teach me. By the way, our today's motion was saying that digital literacy in Uganda schools is essential for economic participation. One of our honorables came here, one of the government honorables came here and said that the government should invest more on ICTs. Now I ask myself, if government is investing, are you promoting the economy? You are decreasing. You are wasting money to go and buy some ICT instead of doing something national matters. You are honorable members, not granted. Actually, that I will ask them. What? Actually, my colleague, Honorable Emma, asked you a question that is agriculture a backbone of Uganda's economy? Your third honorable came here and said, yes, we believe that. If you believe, I don't understand why are we debating here? That means you should just join our opposition leaders to fight against this part, not granted. Another thing is that poor maintenance and appropriation of digital equipment. You bring for me a computer, I don't know how to keep it, I don't know how to use it. How will I even install? What I know is to get my onions plants, do everything that I do. Agriculture is good more than ICTs. Allow.
Thank you, Honorable. You talked of government schools not paying school fees. That's because in the budget of the country, they provided that gap that a part of the government's money should be used to pay fees for the students and not the parents required to pay the fees. And another thing is that you claim that agriculture, you did you don't know how to use a computer, I can bring to you a computer. That's why we want to make these skills compulsory in schools so that you can attain that knowledge. Even when you find a computer, you can use it.
Let me assure you that if you are going to teach me, that means you are investing in me. You are decreasing the economy. You are not promoting anything. You are removing everything. You are, instead of doing some national matters, you are trying to say that you want to invest in me to promote digital ICT. But remember, allow me to go another point. Workplace destruction. For example, these supermarkets, yes, they use their ICTs, but whenever power goes, business will stop because they use these ICTs to calculate money, what to give you back. When power is not there, these things are not even working. They work temporarily, not granted. And members, I would like to go on another point. My members talked about shortage of trained teachers and students. In schools, we have few teachers who teach ICT. In schools, we have few students who like ICT. Now, we who do not have any choice because you have made ICT compulsory. I should go there because you have spoken. You are the government. You have spoken, I should go there. I cannot allow that. Me personally, I cannot allow that because I have a choice to make. Everyone in this world have a choice to make. So you cannot force me to do something that I don't want. Not granted. But remember, according to digitalteachers.co.ug, it's clearly stated that digital literacy can lead to poverty, and that's true. Yes, let's assume that you have made this thing compulsory is working. You make me look for money that I didn't know. You make me look for money that I don't know. Let me say, you make me look for money by force to get this ICT, to do whatever you want, not according to my wish. Remember, we should join hands with the opposition to oppose this thing of saying digital literacy should come back to school. Not really. Our honorable members and dear listeners. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Namasoko Robert from Resilient High School. As our judges finish their assessment, I would like to remind our listeners that in the building we are having two teams. That's University Link being the affirmers and Resilient being the negators. If I'm to remind you our speakers that we are having in the building, from the affirmers we have Mati Ibrahim, a senior 5 student, Nachiranda Azena, a senior 4 student, and Musmame Andrew, a senior 4 student. And we have the negators including Mabaku Emma, a senior 4 student, Chisache Desire, a senior 4 student, and finally, Namasoko Robert, a senior 4 student. As our judges assess, I would also like to remind you the motion that they have been following, which is mandatory digital literacy classes in Ugandan schools are essential for the future economic participation. This was followed under the theme, Empowering the Next Generation, Navigating Uganda's Digital Economic and Social Frontiers, and following the World Schools Debate. I would like to call upon our first judge, who is none other than Mr. Mwanja Somadu, to give us, or to tell us, his remarks about this debate. You're welcome, Mr. Mwanja.
Thank you. Good morning to every person outside and within. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to thank the 6 of you for a very good fight. Not fight for the hands, but because you were trying to use the brain to tussle out each other's opinion. So I want to thank you all, and then I want to thank the teachers, the administration, schools, University Link High School, and Resilient High School. So thank you to the administration for providing internet, time, and even allowing you skip classes and come to participate in the debate. So may the Almighty Allah reward you abundantly. Moving to the topic and to my personal assessment of the debate, the motion passed. For the morning, it was mandatory digital literacy classes in Ugandan schools. There was no full stop there. We had a continuation saying essential for future economic participation. No, there was a reason why I broke when I learned that Ugandan schools, and I will tell you why. So the breakdown of the topic was to tell us what is digital literacy, and then what is economic participation. And then the parameters, if you wanted to go there, you had to tell us what do you understand by digital literacy and economic participation. The others, mandatory in the Ugandan schools, you know, they did not say secondary schools. They said Ugandan schools. Then we had to see. I thought that you were going to tell us which kind of digital literacy. This is an overall assessment of both schools. Which kind of digital literacy are we going to discuss? Because the topic is having 2 items, digital literacy and economic participation. So it was incumbent on every person who was going to discuss to tell us which kind of digital literacy leads to economic participation. For example, if I have an ICT class, which is also a digital class, for example, and then they are teaching me how to do web designs, is this having a direct implication on my economic participation? The answer is yes or no. So we wanted to see how are we linking this? Which kind of digital literacy are we talking about? For me, I thought that we were going to discuss digital financial literacy as a skill of digital literacy. But that notwithstanding, everything you tried to explain was not so really related to the operationalization of the topic. And then because these topics are not gotten from nowhere, remember, ever since they introduced the Sustainable Development Goals, we are trying to move around the 17 goals. And this topic focused mostly on no to poverty. Number one. So because we narrowly operationalized the topic, our center of discussion rotated around advantages of studying ICT. That's why even you started moving from the topic and then you brought in ICT as a concept. Moving to more specific items, still before the general we
See, today you are alone. I think you're feeling a little bit bored, right? But that is the way to go. So thank you, the affirmers and the navigators, for that wonderful session. It was really good. Good morning, everyone. Are we feeling good? Yes. Are we feeling energized? How was the session, if I may ask? Did you enjoy? Did you feel something? It was really nice. So I want to congratulate all of you for that wonderful show that you've been showing us. We are really motivated and we want to see this going on. And to every debater, you should never lose hope. No one is a loser and no one is a winner. So all of us are what? Winners in debate. I think you've ever seen this. Yeah, so even if you don't win today, you can still win tomorrow. So the results that are going to be given to you today, don't take them too personal, okay? Just say, that was the right thing they did. I think I need to go back home and revise my work and I come up with something good. I always look at lifestyle and smartness, basically, because as a debater, we have the things that are key. We can come with content, but sometimes we leave out those small things, and yet they matter a lot. A first impression matters. When you come to the podium, what do we look at? We look at someone who is standing. We look at Azena. We look at my sister there. We want to see my brother looking good. So we have those small things that we leave out, and I noticed a few of you had some problems. Is it my back? Emma? From which school are you? Resilient School. And the uniform you're putting on is from? From which school? Are you from Manafo? Your sister schools. So, do Manafo go to Resilient still? Okay, so it was a little bit challenging. You know, sometimes you have to identify. We have Manafo. Actually, we would see some, you would come under Manafo and would understand, okay? So that is something small that would make you lose what? A point. So me, I was looking at a Manafo student talking to me. That's why I didn't even pay a lot of attention to what you were talking about, okay? So next time if you're coming to debate, always put on the right uniform, even if your sister schools, you've identified yourself as Resilient High School, okay? So I love the way you talked. It was really interesting. I love the emphasis, the stage was good. You know, as a debater, we always want that person who emphasizes something. It commands audience. If you're speaking in one place like this, it's kind of boring. You're not emphasizing. So I love the way he was doing it. Although we have something that you always look at the other side, okay? Azena, you were bold. you were fluent, and you actually showed the characters of a debater. And is it desire? Desire? You do not answer what you do not understand. You were refuting something, but you're not giving us the right, you were not giving us the depth. You started by refuting the opponent's work. But that was not good. As the other judge was telling you, I think you would understand and take it home. And if you're refuting, give us the correct things and at least let the flow, okay? Yeah, so Andrew was reading. Andrew, who is Andrew? Andrew, did you revise? You're a good debater, okay? But don't over-concentrate so much on reading, and also smartness matters, okay? Yeah, I'm not going to mention something that has gone wrong, but smartness matters, okay? So these things are not told to you to feel bad. Some of you will go back home there and feel like, the other woman was speaking, and I didn't like her. Please, don't quote us wrong. The chief judge will come here and talk about the content, but he will leave out some of the things. And tomorrow you're going to go to the big stages. These are the same mistakes you're going to be doing, and yet they carry marks. Eye contact matters. Don't you know that it carries 10 marks? Your boldness. How are you speaking? Andrew, were you speaking like a debater or a public speaker? We have two different things. A public speaker and a debater. So those two things, how are you speaking, if I may ask? Okay, so thank you so much. And lastly, Namasoko, the body language. As debaters, are you always told about the body language? Do we talk when we are leaning? How do we stand? Did you see this from is it what? Namasoko? Namasoko was teaching us, he was the teacher. You know, teachers, when we are tired, sometimes we lean, We are tired, we have been writing on the chalkboard. We are very tired. So Namasoko was teaching us, although he was debating according to him, he was posing for pictures. Did you see that? But he's a good speaker though, and you're a good debater. Okay, my dear? So let's keep up, let's speak out these small things. However, all of you are good. I love the boldness, the eloquence was good. And we just need to work on these small things and keep it up. And next time, if we are coming back, we should not do the same mistake. So I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank the teachers. Thank you for bringing our students. And please keep mentoring them. We want the best out of them. We want this mallet to shine with these young people. Is it fine? So thank you very much to the audience also for listening. You have been a good audience. You have not shouted. And we want to thank you. And please, a round of applause, all of us here, for sitting. So thank you very much to you, Chief Judge.
Thank you so much. Hurry a bit. I would like to right away call our final judge, who is the Chief Judge, in fact, Mr. Ruwemba Musa. You're welcome.
Thank you, dear MC, and good afternoon, colleagues. I take the opportunity to welcome the members from that wonderful show and presentation, reminding members listening in and those within the room, we're on a theme, mandatory digital literacy classes in Ugandan schools are essential for future economic participation. And coming from a teacher background, I always begin with asking myself questions that others would actually have in their mind when I present before them. And I think that is what the members were supposed to also be like. Not saying you were not, but that is what I anticipate you were supposed to. Mandatory digital literacy. My first question would have been, do we have digital literacy classes in Ugandan schools? And then 2, are they mandatory? And then 3, are they essential? Because having them in one is one thing, having them mandatory is another, having them as essential is another. And then also having the digital literacy classes delving into future economic participation is the other issue. So if we have asked ourselves those questions, then it means inside our minds we should be able to make the link or the relationship between what we are looking at as digital literacy classes, the schools, and then future economic participation. That aside, in the interest of time, I thank everyone because it was really a wonderful show, but in a more specific way. Ibrahim, I think starting with the quote was fine, but like my colleague has told you, whenever we mention a quote, a fact, a number, or a statistic or statistics, members are interested in understanding where you are picking this from. Probably I'm interested in the quote and I would wish to read about it more. So if you just give us the quote or the figure, I think that leaves something hanging. The introduction of the members and their roles, I think I only heard it from one side, and I think that was very, very pertinent. However, introducing digital literacy in Uganda, it ate into your time because you so much dwelled on telling us where we have started from up to where we are. That might not be an issue for as long as you can show the audience why them understanding the history of digital literacy in Uganda matters as far as the motion is concerned. Because you might realize that telling them about where we have come with digital literacy does not actually speak to the theme itself directly. But if you can make that link, I think that would have been fine. And then also explaining to us what your target group within the theme is. If we say Ugandan schools, my colleague has told you that it is not, we are not looking at primary, we are not looking at secondary or nursery. Neither are we looking at university. It is as open as you want to take it. Now you are at liberty as a debater to tell us that no, since we are in secondary schools, let us take the case of a secondary school. So it means to that you will have operationalized the word school here to mean secondary and that level. So we cannot have any further questions related to primary or even post-secondary at that level. Then reading verbatim, I think that cut across. They are what we call talking points. And talking points that you just need something to remind you, to prick the mind of when you stand before the others. That is why you will see that in those big gatherings, someone will just have a small leaflet, a small paper, and their outlines. So it means that every time members expect you to speak your mind, and you can only learn to speak your mind if you start at this level, because it is in your mind that you cannot speak. That feeling is in your mind that you cannot speak without the paper. But if you learn to get used to that kind of using the talking points, then trust me, at the end of the day, all of you are going to be better speakers. Because like my colleague has told you, most of us could not do that at that stage. Standing before you, the members, and then saying a statement or two, you've seen people almost crying, shivering, the mic, is moving, changing directions. But now, if you can stand and say a word, then I think the talking points will even make you better debaters. And remember, those who speak after the first speaker talk about the second and the third. You are capitalizing on what the others have made and also the flaws in the opposing side. So it even gives you better room to be able to confront them with your own assertions and arguments, other than reading as per your preparation. In fact, for you, what you have to do is to understand what your team is going to present, but then better prepare to listen to these ones and identify the flaws in their arguments. And then Emma, I think redefining the motion and the key terms, like we said, unless your definitions change face with what has been given by the other side. What we are looking at is to save time for arguments. So whatever moment, in whatever way you can save time, that is more helpful on your side. So it does not do any harm for you to say that without redefining what has already been defined by the affirmers or the affirmative, that says it all, because it means each one of us will have listened to the definitions and you will have saved minutes at that level. Remember, those definitions are sometimes so wild and many that they will take a lot of minutes. But for you, what you are looking at is to save those minutes for your arguments. Then also the other issue that we had was the misconception, digital literacy, ICT, and then now we find ourselves bringing in agriculture. I think there was also confusion at that stage. Farmers who lack money, what if it makes it better? So if we are to mention agriculture or the issue of farming, then we should show that it is an important case even within the theme itself. Because remember, we expect that you are going to keep in line. That is what we said as our number 2 or 3 point there. So if you bring in an alternative sector, for example, then you are looking at agriculture versus education. But yet the whole essence here is, yes, it is in education, but digital literacy as an element within education, not education as a sector versus the other sectors. Then, as then I think there was also an emphasis of definitions, the rural-urban difference, my colleague has talked about them, and the lack of source, you said 30%, sorry, 70% are below the age of 30. Where are we getting this, and how does it feature in your argument that you have raised in line of the motion? The issue of availability of markets was okay. Advancement of the markets with technology. Okay, if we say that it is education versus other sectors, can't the members argue out that, don't you think that with digital literacy classes, even those who are in agriculture or alternative sectors can become better because of the knowledge that we've got from the digital literacy classes? But at that point, it is also to assume that those who are in school are the ones who are participating in the markets, which is again another wrong assumption. Or else you say that, okay, the students in school can go back and help their parents who are farmers to build applications so that this person can put on TikTok that I sell cattle, I sell rice, and then the skill that is got from the class is actually transferred to improve an activity back home. People can't afford. What happens if it comes in as a policy? Because in this case we are looking at Ugandan schools. So whether private or government, they are under the government, because the government is the regulatory body. So it means that if we say it is mandatory, then the government is saying, and it leaves you no choice. The member was saying, your choice is not my choice. It leaves you no choice because it now comes in as policy. So if that is the case, then the issue of affording cannot come in at that stage, because it means that it is going to be one like the other. So even when we say that, okay, in Manafa we are already overwhelmed with the so many classes and we are poor and the rest, does the addition of digital literacy classes create an extra burden on what is already there for you to say that, or does it even imply that you are going to have fees, yet at the same point you are saying that they are not paying fees now because they are poor? So if you are to raise that point, you are supposed to show us that this extra burden is actually coming in because these digital literacy classes are probably going to pose other requirements. and this will affect the education at that stage, and then it will also go on to affect our economic participation. And then Kisache, ICT is not ours. Again, the members, I think, will agree with everyone that this is a digital revolution, whether you want or not. We talk about one scholar at university called Lenski. And the fourth revolution that we talk about is the ICT revolution. So it means whether you want or not, unless you are going to live this space, the earth space, but you must fit within the revolution. So we cannot at that stage show that it is not ours, unless you qualify it with the fact that whereas you are bringing it in, but there are other subsequent requirements that we shall have to have, which are actually not with us or which we cannot afford at this particular point. You are saying, yes, we need qualified teachers, maybe we need computer labs, maybe. And given our status as a country, maybe these are still expensive on our side, or what we have on the shelf are computers and facilities, and that is not the digital literacy that we want. So if you can push it that far, then you can qualify the point. But if you cannot, then the statement that it is not, that ICT is not ours, actually leaves many questions. You see no need for ICT, not all teachers teach ICT, opposition from the people, so we can say no to the government. Again, all this is to miss the other point that if we are making it mandatory, no one makes it mandatory except the government. So we can ask whether all the subjects that you are doing are actually in your best interest. And then you realize that, yes, I'm doing physics, but after that I will throw it away. It means it is not your choice, but you have to do it as a matter of it being a subject, or a mandatory subject for that matter. So when we put ourselves in the perspective of the motion, we also imagine our potential with what is actually being fronted, which is the digital literacy classes here. The issue of pride and the rest focus on agriculture, I think we need not emphasize on that. Technology does not do us any good. I think also unless you so much expound on that, to show that yes, there isn't anything good we see with technology. A member was reminding you that even what we are doing now is part of a technology. How about if someone told you that people who have made all this possible are people who have gone through digital literacy classes? Then Andrew, the quote, I think was fine. Then alternatives to facilities, I think that was also well called for. But you were also supposed to show that these facilities actually support digital literacy classes, and in the end, those who go through these classes, because that is where the gist of the matter is, are there positives that we anticipate that if we add this as a mandatory subject, those who go through it are actually going to be better economic participants. The issue of ethics in the curriculum, I think if you had pushed it further to the members, you would have showed them that we need not worry about the issue of pornography and the rest. Because yes, it is not that these facilities are available and that is why we have all these. Because our curriculum caters for ethics and culture and the rest. So the worry that if we emphasize on digital literacy is going to drive us into those negatives of technology, I think it would have been catered for at that stage. As a survival skill, I think that was good as I see it as a need. If you had showed them why ICT is a need, but ICT now as an element of digital literacy classes, because like the colleagues are noted, ICT as ICT is not actually digital literacy education. Okay? Namasoko, killing my dream, I want to be a farmer. Can we have this in a school environment? So can you show that, can you fit this within a school environment versus economic participation? Because what if the farming that you're talking about is actually out of what we look at as digital literacy classes? So unless you can show that, no, for me my dream is to become a farmer. If you take me through digital literacy classes, this is how this dream dies. So if you can make that link, then it will be positive on your side. But the failure to do that, I think it leaves it still as a negative on your side. Schools in our area, because people are poor, I think I've talked about that. If we make digital literacy classes mandatory, does it mean that now people are going to begin paying fees? So unless you show that, okay, when you introduce this digital literacy, then maybe parents will be required to pay some small computer fees, or for this teacher who comes from Mbale to go to Manafa to teach. And because the school might not afford that, which again will be a wrong assertion, because making it mandatory by the government means this is calculated also. But if you can take that direction, then you will probably have somehow qualified the point that you were making. Then investing in ICT as wastage of money, I think you needed to have more clarity to the same. Few teachers teach, few students like. We have a scholar from political science. That person is called Montesquieu. Another one is called Machiavelli. I know you will come to learn about those names. And that person says that when he's talking about education now, that sometimes students should be taught what they want to hear. But also there are moments when they should be taught what they don't want to hear. So it goes back to the other question. Whatever you are doing, is it what you want to do as a subject? If you are given an opportunity to choose, would you choose the same subjects you are doing now again? So if that is the case, then the issue of few teachers teaching and few students liking, it leaves us with the question of whether learners have choice of discipline or choice of subject. So if you can qualify that, yes, if you say it is mandatory, it is digital, for me I will miss classes because of X, Y, Z, then if you have a justification for that, maybe well and good. But if you cannot, then you are forgetting the fact that this is coming in as mandatory and you must support. So if you are to refute, then it means you must refute with a very, very clear justification. It cannot be about the teachers, because those are going to be catered for in the mandatory element. You cannot say that you are starting a subject, but yet you do not have people to drive that kind of learning through the school institution. That said, in the interest of time again, I thank the members up to this far, and I think now back to the assessment. At the start, we showed you a small leaflet like this, a paper, and that paper was out of 100. And each of the 10 elements carried 10 marks. That is why Honorable has even reminded you that even what you take to be a very small thing like eye contact is marked out of 10. So it means that these items were well thought out to include in some of what you might think is actually very, very minute and does not matter when we choose to debate before the members. So we have 3 judges here. Each of the judges was assessing each of you. So it means Honorable Lima was assessing each of you, and me and my colleague. Each team is assessed out of 900. I hope the members understand where the 900 comes from. So 300 from him and from me and from my colleague. Okay? And 100, 100, 100. So that is 900. I'll begin with the university link. Judge 1 had 84 plus 80 plus 74. That gives a total of 238. Judge 2 had 54 plus 67 plus 75. That gives a total of 196. And Judge 3 had 82 plus 83 plus 72, which gives a total of 237. Each of these marks are independent. It is an independent mind. Then when you add 238 plus 196 plus 237, you get 671. So that is 671 out of 900. When we go to resilient high, Judge 1 had 69 plus 57 plus 62, which gives a total of 188. Judge 2 had 81 plus 78 plus 78, which gives a total of 237. And Judge 3 had 55 plus 66 plus 69, which gives a total of 190. When you add 188 plus 237 plus 190, you get a total of 615. So at this point, I declare that University Link emerges as the victor with 671 points. Thank you once again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, our dear judge. I congratulate University Link for having won the battle. This debate is the third edition. And this is the first session of this day. This debate started on Tuesday. We had different schools, including St. Mary's, Busamaga, Mbale Parents, Nakaloka Islamic, Ikiki High School, Nkoma SS, Hamden Girls, University Link, Manafa High, Bugema Comprehensive, Nkoma High,